What's going on, guys? Welcome back to WWE Network and Show, where I, Graham G.S. Matthews, break down all the original content I watch on the WWE Network and on Peacock and on USA Network, as today we're talking Season 3, Episode 5 of Miz and Mrs., entitled Fantasy Trip and Fall. This episode's all about Miz and Maurice going on vacation, getting away from the kids for a few days, all the while Miz is trying to make some important deadline trades in fantasy football. To open the episode, Miz and Maurice talk about having two kids and how they run the household and how hectic and how crazy life can be in having two kids. Maurice wants to go away, to get away from the hecticness, if only for a night or two. Miz doesn't want things to stack up in their absence. Dancing with the Stars just wrapped up. He has to go back on the road soon with WWE. He has to get back in shape and has to get a lot of other things done. In the midst of all of this, probably more so than anything else, fantasy football is going on right now, specifically trade deadlines in the next day. And Miz only agrees to make it work when Maurice says, well, if we were to go on vacation, it's a shame that we're not, because if we did, I could show off my new lingerie. Miz at that point says, let's go, I'll make it work, we can figure it out as we go along. George and Marjo babysit while they're away. On the way to this wine country hotel that they stayed at, hotel or whatever you want to call it, I guess. Miz and Maurice talk about their early days of dating and not telling people they were dating early on and saying they were going on dates with other people and all this other stuff. It was a cute little storytelling session, I thought, on that part of the episode. And it kind of reminded them, this part of the car ride on their way to their on their trip here was their way of kind of reminding each other of what it was like with just the two of them before they had kids, kind of reminding themselves of what their relationship was like pre-being parents. And on the way to this wine country place they stay at, Miz turns down a very important call. And when they arrive at this hotel, Miz's phone continues to go off, very likely about fantasy football related stuff. And Maurice takes his phone away and says, you're not working, no important phone calls, nothing work-related, nothing, anything along those lines going on this trip. And you have to agree with me, otherwise we're going to have some issues. And Miz is like, all right, fine, whatever. And that's kind of the prime priority here. And Maurice has no idea that it's fantasy football season right now. Otherwise, she probably would be a bit more aware of what Miz is about to do. So before he goes off and does what he has to do, when he's on the verge of getting a very important trade, the person he might have a possibility of getting on his team could win him the George, which we found out here on the show before in past seasons is like their grand fantasy football championship that he and his friends kind of fight for every year, and whoever wins fantasy football, their league, wins the George. It's the championship belt with Miz's dad's face on it. And again, before Miz goes off and does what he's about to do, they get a call from Marjo and George saying that Monroe got a black eye, and they're trying to find out how this happened. George just keeps repeating that girls will be girls and that it's not their fault, it's not George's fault. So they never really get a clear-cut answer on how she got the black eye. But they get a picture of her with the black eye and she's fine, so they don't really worry too much about it. Miz wants to kind of get going, so to speak. That's what the prime thing on this episode of The Miz. The two things on his mind throughout this entire episode are fantasy football and just being horny, for the most part. That's literally Miz this entire episode. So I don't know if they do that or not, but they do go to a wine tasting. They get drunk, go on a boat ride, and again, it reminds them of what it was like in their relationship before they became parents and having fun and just being themselves. Unfortunately, when Miz gets a bath going for Maurice, he leaves for 15 minutes, goes downstairs to the computer center, to use a computer at the business center, and Maurice is still upstairs in the bath, completely unaware of what's going on. The Miz is downstairs trying to secure a fantasy football trade. I think he gets it, I don't remember. But the hotel calls their room, and that's how Maurice finds out where Miz is. So Miz goes all out to make it up to her, buys like a 15-course dinner, whatever, like rents out the super expensive private room to make it up for her, and again, make it up to her, not for her, rather. I keep making that mistake. And during which point they discuss the importance of having us time and, again, being by themselves, if only just getting away for a night or two, to have that time to focus on themselves and not just being parents, among other things as well. And then during that same point, Miz wants to see her lingerie right then and there. Again, we have horny Miz a lot of the time on this show, but specifically on this episode. He is very horny throughout this episode, specifically in this scene when they're out to dinner. Other people are around, coming in and out, serving them food. He wants to get going right then and there. But anyway, to end the episode, they head back home. They meet up with the kids, George, Marjo, and that was the end of the episode. So good stuff. I really enjoyed this one. I thought this was a very funny episode. Fantasy Trip and Fall, Season 3, Episode 5 of Miz and Mrs. They aired a quick teaser preview for the next episode, but they didn't say next week. And I'm thinking to myself, why would they do that? Why would they air a teaser for the next episode if the show's not going on break right now, but if it's not next week? And then I realized, next Monday is 4th of July. So they're probably going to save the episode for the following week, I would have to imagine, unless they air it anyway or they air it the following week, unless they've always said next on Miz and Mrs. and not next week. But I'm pretty sure they're not airing an episode next week. Raw will be on, as always, but I don't think Miz and Maurice, or Miz and Mrs. rather, will be on next Monday after Raw. So my guess is that episode 6 is going to air in 2 weeks on July 11th. That's my current guess as of right now. But thank you guys, as always, for checking out my reviews. I appreciate it. Be sure to like the video, drop a comment, share the video, and subscribe to the channel for more daily content. And we'll be back soon here on the channel with more videos. So again, be sure to hit that bell button as well to be notified every time a new video goes up. Have a great one, guys. I'm Graham G.S. Matthews, and I'll catch your ass down the road.